too much noise, love, please. I'm streaming now. A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, bang on 0515 UTC. We're on every night at this time and on every day at the moment. Patricia and David with you. ZMH 286 is the official designation for Gulf Harbour Radio, and it is a pretty chilly, unpleasant evening actually here at Gulf Harbour tonight. It's 16 degrees, which is not tropical at all, and there's a 10 knots plus nor'easter wind, fairly gusty, fairly high barometer, 1027.7, just slightly rising to our east. It's sort of not moving very fast, 100% cloud cover. It is just unpleasant. So there you have it. Not much happening with boats. They're starting to move across westward and a few going south, as we've talked about yesterday, I think. Intruder is going north against the flow. Intruder is now at 2425 south and 17748 east with 20 knots of easterly. They're at just chucking along though, 5.1 speed on a course of 353. So nothing evil ahead, just probably a bit more wind than they want, but there you go. And, of course, Crazy Flavour is winging its way, probably about 6 days away from Savu Savu at the moment, coming across from Raiatea. Don't know anybody else that we know that's on their way, but if anyone wants to find out where anyone is, let me know. Just a little bit of news before I head it to David, the microphone, to talk about, I think he's going to talk about Fiji weather tonight. But there was an amazing cocaine bust on a yacht coming across from it arrived in Tahiti actually. It left. It's a Swedish yacht. I'm not sure whether they must have been following it. 423 kilograms hidden in the stern of a Swedish yacht. Not a very good record for we cruisers. I think they've had quite a few yachts intercepted there. But it just says cocaine. I said that, if you were listening. Anyway, 2 Swedish men were on board. They have been detained, and they risk a jail sentence of up to 10 years and fines of nearly US $10 million. So they left Panama, and I suspect they might have been just on the radar there, but boy, that's an awful lot. They've had, this was the 7th yacht that they have caught in French Polynesia since 2016. It's a few years, of course, but boy, that's a pretty big bust of cocaine, and it doesn't bode well for cruisers generally. There was, I keep forgetting to tell you about the new island that I know Tonga is still not open to yachts, but there was another one of these underwater eruptions, and people who have been in Tonga previously or been in the islands know what it's like with the pumice and the soot that comes out. But anyway, it's in the same area as Hunga Tonga, I think it's called. Anyway, it started on September the 10th, and it has been going sort of on and off, and now by September the 20th, it has grown, the island has grown. It's 10 metres high, and it's 24,000 square metres. It's absolutely amazing. So this is a decent-sized new island, so you might want to pop it if you're going in, around that area. You'll need to keep a look out. It won't be on any of your charts at this stage, but it is southwest of Late Island, northeast of Tonga, and it's sort of in the Hapai area there. So, yep, just keep mindful of that if Tonga ever opens to the cruising boats again. What else? Oh, there's been some strange comments coming from the president of Vanuatu. He wants to ban fossil fuels. So, good luck to that. I don't know how they're going to look after themselves if they ban fossil fuels. But anyway, that's
take care of their outboard motors.
yes, no more outboard motors. Maybe they're going to go back to paddling. But anyway, that's a little bit of interest there as well. Okay, not much going on. New Zealand, they've just had another political poll, if anyone is in the slightest bit interested, for the election, which is a year away, of course. And now the ACT National Party are actually ahead of the Labour coalition. So that's of interest to many of us. Anyway, we won't be talking politics on Gold Harbour Radio. We're going to go to the weather. Here's David.
Okay, well, good evening. And boy, we've got a huge high that's east of New Zealand. It's about a 1037, 1037. It's a blocking high. We've got a fairly, well, not real big at the moment because it's being stopped, but there is a depression west of Cape Reinga. It's not going anywhere. All that's happening is just the isobars are getting compressed. So a big swash zone there. Up to about up to 30 south, which doesn't affect you guys. But looking up more towards the islands, we still have a lot of troughs. We've got one over the Solomons, one in the Coral Sea that runs west to east, goes all the way to 165 east. We've got one that runs almost north-south over the southern part of Vanuatu. Starts off at about 10 south and goes down all the way to 20 south, and this cloud over half the island chain to the north. Then we've got a low that's sitting there at about, it's 20 south, I guess is the best way to put it, and it looks like a tire. We've got a trough that runs to the northwest, one to the east, and one to the southwest. So that's quite a bit of activity. That's just southwest of Fiji. And speaking of Fiji, well, wait a minute, hang on for a second. We'll talk about the other trough. It runs from Rotuma, goes down through Wallace, then it nosedives down to Tonga, and southeast from there. Then yet another trough over Samoa, and it runs down to Niue, and it goes east at that point toward the Southern Cook. So a lot of activity there. Yeah, that's about it. I was going to give you the Fiji weather, but first I better find out who's out there, and I'll give it back to the boss for a second.
Okay, well, I don't think there's too many people. We know that there's a few boats in New Caledonia. Greetings to you guys. Probably still just off Noumea there. The Somerset, I don't think, have moved from Champagne Beach today. They were going to wait until tomorrow. Is there anybody out there wanting to make contact? Please call.
This is Somerset, over.
Yeah, good evening, Paul, and all on board. How's things and how's your visit to the White Sand Beach? Over.
Yeah, it was good. We mostly did some diving today and slowly, and a bit of school, and we're hoping for some more wind.
Hoping for more wind, right? So, and
where's it going?
They're going north. From up here, I'm just pointing out where you are. Well, you haven't got that map on. You've got the up there, and yeah. Are you going to go to, what is your preferred destination of all of the different choices there, Paul? Over.
We go to the Torres Islands. That's our plan for the moment, the second to last island. We are thinking to leave tomorrow. We think we have enough wind for this winter, if we don't have that much wind.
Yeah, I was wondering just specifically which island you were going to, but anyway, well, so you're looking for wind tomorrow. Stand by.
Yeah, well, there's some breeze once you clear Santo, but are you really going to miss out on the banks? Over?
We are going to see the banks after the Torres, so we'll go to the Torres Strait and then we'll slowly head south to the banks.
So Taurus first, then
Okay,
the banks.
yeah, we spent a fair amount of time up there. Well, okay, the winds are going to be, well, we'll take a look at what Wednesday's got to say. Quite a fair amount of wind, actually, just north of the top of Santo. You're looking at 12 up to 16 knots there. And Taurus, well, the chain, just give you the winds around the chain, I'd say about 10 to 15, and they're pretty much easterly for tomorrow. And then looking at Thursday, well, there's been a change. Models don't agree, but looking at southeast winds for the Taurus up there on Thursday, and a fair amount of wind. We're looking at least 15 knots, I would say, up there.
What was that tomorrow?
That's southeast. Well, tomorrow, well, he won't be there tomorrow. But like I say, you get just north of Santo tomorrow. You've got basically winds. Yeah, quite a bit of wind actually. It's actually accelerating around the point, the furthest northernmost point that I could see, and getting up to maybe 20 knots at times up there. Then, yeah, that's Wednesday, and then Thursday. Good 15 to 20 halfway. You'd be west of the banks, I assume. And yeah, 15 to 20. Quite a bit of gustiness in that as well. What would be your ETA for Taurus? Over.
The next day at around noon sometime. Over.
So Thursday noon.
The next day, Thursday, you're saying.
Noon.
So yeah, you're looking at 15 to 20 up there. 15 to 20, I would say. That's on Thursday, and that's at about early morning. Let me give it a little bit later, and that still slacks off a bit, maybe about 15 knots. And the models are a little varied. GFS is looking about 12 knots, 10 to 12, 13 knots, and that's pretty much east-southeast for GFS, and then EC, we're looking at southeast. All in a good direction for you. Over.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think we're going to leave tomorrow morning. Over.
Yeah, well, it's all looking pretty good for tomorrow, going through until midday on Thursday, so that should be a good trip. I think it will certainly be a better trip than when you attempt to come back south again. I think we'll take a holiday then. It might be a bit frustrating. But, okay, we'll have a good trip.
What islands are you
He
going for?
didn't really say which island he's going for, but we haven't been up to Taurus, so I can't offer any comment on Taurus. But anyway, Tagua or Hui or even Nunua look pretty good for anchorages sheltered from the easterly. I'll just pass the microphone again.
Yeah, most of the decent anchorages, as you probably know already, are on the west side, up to the north, Hui and Tagua, definitely west side. Lanua, which is the second island, either side, looks like you've got some decent anchorage. The first one, Toga, I don't see anything on what I've got here, but I'm sure you'll find out. Over.
Yeah, the Lua and Toga, we didn't find anything. We're going to the second to last island,
Low.
something like that. Over.
Yeah, Tagua looks nice little anchorage there on the western side, so that should be quite good. We would be interested to hear your thoughts, because we have not had anybody on this net that has gone to Taurus that we know of. So yeah, you're striking into new ground, so it will be of interest. The highest we went in the groups was Uraparapara, which is a really good trip, which you'll enjoy coming on the return. So that will be good. Okay, all right then. Well, we'll talk to you from somewhere interesting tomorrow, Paul. Have a good trip. Over.
Yes, we'll check in tomorrow. Thanks for the weather.
Okay, is there anybody else wanting to call in? You got anything else? No, I think that's about it. Did you cover Fiji? I must have been a bit busy if you were going to talk about Fiji, but I don't think there's nobody here that we know that's in Fiji anyway. So, alrighty, unless anybody wants anything in particular, we'll say a very good evening to you all. Oh, there's a little bit of blue sky coming up here, so that's nice. And we'll talk to you tomorrow night, same time. Cheers, everybody. This is Gold Harbour Radio, and we'll be clear.